Okay, hopefully everyone can hear me. I'll probably close this door. Hopefully, yeah, I am still waiting on my friend to hop on. He is AFK from Discord, but in the meantime, I'm just gonna add some little text here. Who's Candace? What? I think what I want to do is this, and oops, something like that probably works the best. So I am gonna speak to the person I'm coaching about this, and I have done some coaching stuff before, and if this is the kind of content that people enjoy, just let me know. Like, I would also love to hear in the chat if everyone can hear me clearly, and all that. But I have done some coaching before. I thought this would be a good opportunity to try something a little different, and I also, if anyone is watching now, I'd love to also bring up the fact that I kind of was thinking of doing like a weekly lesson series. This would help me figure out what videos work well and what videos don't work well, and also like what concepts might be confusing and all those things. So, and we can talk a bit about matchup ratios and stuff. I think I know that in the case of the person who I'm teaching, who I think is on now. Evan, are you here?
Yeah.
Yo. All right. So, so we are live. I'm gonna connect. I'm gonna play as Marth, and I'm gonna connect to you, and hopefully people can hear you. But the first thing, so I mean, I'll probably lay out how I want to do this. Let's just connect to the game first, just to make sure we're got that all under. Okay, good. We're connected. Looks like everyone can see us. Yeah, so yeah, because basically like there's certain things that I realize are concepts I could explain, but sometimes it's like easier to sort of figure out, and like I try to always imagine what people are gonna get stuck on or what people might misunderstand, especially for things that are hard to explain. And I wanted to maybe do a stream series where like I would explain stuff and whatever. Anyway, now that Evan's actually here, also My tag is still set to IBDSM because I thought that was funny. So the way I'm thinking of doing this, Evan and stream, is we'll play maybe a game or two, and then how I want to structure stuff. Generally, the way I view Melee is like you have every character has strengths and weaknesses, and I want to leverage our character's strengths and pressure the other character's weaknesses. But first, whenever you're playing any matchup, there's always going to be things you're doing well, poorly, things you don't understand well. My Marth is not amazing, guys, so bear with me, but I think I should still be able to hang. So let's just start. We'll play a couple games, and I will try to pay attention to the chat. And mostly, I'm just gonna be looking for like how he deals with certain stuff. Again, my Marth, not the greatest. Probably shouldn't have forward smashed there. Should have teched that down. The student is probably like high beginner, low mid, like around that. So someone who's been playing Melee for a while but not super seriously, and started playing Falco maybe about, I don't know, when did you start playing Falco? Like
3 months ago.
3 months ago.
2 months.
So,
yeah.
But like has been playing Melee for a while, and I think I want to be covering kind of all types of stuff. So the reason why I did this, we're doing this matchup specifically, is Evan messaged me being like, this is a matchup, I didn't mean to do a back air there. This is a matchup that I've been having trouble with. I'm getting for the FE again. I need to check the chat after this game, but I'll answer some questions after the game's over. But I think I'm going to try to structure this lesson both as something that Evan can learn or genuine, but also sort of like, I think it's really important in every matchup that you're watching to understand like how the kind of fundamentals of the game are affecting things. I know there was a time before where Evan and I played. I'm using the term Evan. I should use the term genuine just for the sake of the stream. Back when he used to play Peach, and I think he was having trouble with Marth again because Marth is a tricky character. And one of the things that he didn't realize was just like giving up center stage too easily. So I suspect that like no matter what level you are, there's probably some stuff that you're need to work on. Okay, I got a little too crazy. But so I'm gonna want to be focusing on that and on. Oops. So, yeah. So I think we'll start with a couple games, and then work from there. Okay. So let me just double check the chat. Can people even at mid levels coach lower levels, or do you think it's independent from player to player? Are there benefits to coaching others in game? So I think the challenge of coaching someone is you don't want to say stuff. You don't want to say stuff that's like wrong, right? You don't want to be like, oh, Marth has one of the best shields in the game, and or like Falcon has a great out of shield pressure, or like a great out of shield options, and it'd be like, well, no, actually he doesn't. That's one of his main weaknesses. So I think but I think you can play with someone, and like whenever you play with them, you can always be like, oh, this is some of the stuff I noticed that you're doing wrong, or that at least I'm capitalizing on. Let's play one more game, Evan, and then maybe you can talk to me about stuff that you find hard. Dreamland, kind of a typical counter pick, so it'd be good to sort of be comfortable on this stage. So one thing, are you familiar? We'll talk about a lot of the kind of counterplay But like, are you familiar with like the slight DI for like? Are you familiar with sort of counter defensive stuff for the chain grab?
Kind of. Like, around 20%. Like, slight. Is it slight DI or no DI? You have to, like, pivot grab?
Yeah. So basically, like, it depends. Like, no DI or slight DI. There's a couple things you can do if you like. I can't remember if it's both no DI or slight. I often go for slight behind just because it's hard to tell. Oops, if the person's like needs to turn around or not, and that's kind of applicable to like Sheik stuff. But what was I gonna say? Sorry, I was clearly focused on that combo. Like the slight DI, like, you know, making things harder for your opponent is definitely a big part of stuff. Like right there, you backed off a lot and gave me a ton of space. I'm just going to get back here. That was actually a pretty sick combo. I don't know if anyone saw that, but okay. So first, I think probably a good place to start is just like tell me like what do you think you find the most difficult to deal with, Marth? And then I can kind of.
I know I get like wrecked when I'm on a platform.
Okay. I'm gonna actually take like notes here, so I'm gonna make a little Google Drive. And like keep talking if of the stuff that kind of comes to your mind is like, oh, when I'm on a platform, it's really difficult.
I just get hit a lot, like in neutral.
Okay.
Like when I try and approach, I get like fared away or whatever.
Struggles to deal with approach. Okay. Anything else that comes to mind is like kind of a clear struggle or anything? I realize I should also.
Not really.
Okay, so those are the things that come to mind for you. Okay. Love your content. This is Andy from Patreon. I think coaching is a great idea. Yo, Andy, what's up, man? Long time supporter. Thank you so much for all the stuff you've done. Yeah, so going back to the coaching, speaking with Genuine here. So the main things he said to me were gets hit a lot, wrecked on platforms, struggles to deal with approaches with Marth. How about you go Marth? I'll go Falco, just because it's easier for me to demonstrate some of the stuff that I think I like to focus on. And I'll try to address what you're talking about and like general stuff people want to be thinking about in the matchup that should help you as well. So let's start a game. You'll go Marth just to kind of give you an idea. Fountain's kind of an interesting map. Maybe we'll just do like something simple like Battlefield, just to not have to deal with the platforms moving around. Okay, so I spoke about this earlier, but the way I think about matchups are basically like what strengths do I have and like what weaknesses does the opponent have, and what strengths does the opponent have and what weaknesses do I have. Strengths and weaknesses. So the way I think about Falco is that like obviously lasers allow you to dictate a lot of the pace of the game, although Marth can deal with lasers very effectively. When he gets on top of people, he has a really good punish game. He like just can kind of put a lot of pressure on the opponent. Those are, I think, some of his strengths in the matchup. Thank you, Cherry Bong. And those are the things that come to mind. In terms of weaknesses that I'm looking to exploit whenever I'm playing Marth, Marth's shield, I think, is one of the biggest things I'm always kind of thinking about, because Marth's shield is not only is it kind of like weaker because like, so right now, if you look at me shielding, like my shield when it starts, like I'll let it recharge a bit. Like it's actually covering like a pretty good amount, and like especially if it was full health, it'd be covering quite a lot. Whereas like you shield and then like shield for a bit and then pause. Like Marth's shield on the top, you can see doesn't really cover a lot of his head, and so once he starts to have some depletion of the shield, you can actually poke him quite easily. Specifically with Falco Nair, because of that, Marth's like kind of want to be careful when they're going in shield. If you can unpause for a sec. So when you're in shield, Marth can do stuff like forward air out of shield. He can do Nair out of shield. Nair kind of hits behind him and above him. Grab out of shield, which is a huge one. And he can do like up air, and other things aren't as relevant. Those are the big ones. Forward air, Nair, back air, not really. Down air, not super common, but sometimes it makes sense. and then he can wave dash and roll and stuff. But because his shield is kind of weak, he can get poked. So if I have him in shield, I know that he's doing a lot of limited stuff. Oh yes, up B out of shield. That's a big one as well. So no, I'm talking about Marth. I'm just not using him. So one thing I like to try to do is get Marth in shield. And then the second thing is, generally speaking, what's it called? When you play Marth, like he has one of the reasons I totally feel you on the like I find I get hit a lot is Marth like I'm gonna play Marth this time. You can play whoever. Like when you're Marth, like you can go Falco, you can do whatever. When you're Marth, like you can control so much space. Like say for example, if I'm here and I'm moving forward, like look, like we can see I'm in line with the platform here, right? Look at how much like room you can cover with just a single fair. Similarly, dash attack covers like this whole, like it's like his more than his wave dash length, like his kind of max wave dash. It's like this whole space. So that can make getting in on Marth really tricky, and it also is the reason why a lot of people get hit. The thing is, when Marth swings, he often has quite a bit of lag. So there's this weird like interplay where like, let's say for example, he like is dash attacking you a lot. I personally, for a long time, I was trying to like space around dash attack, and if people can do it, it's amazing. But like dash attack covers so much space. Like if we say we're right at the corner, it's like it was covering to like here. So keep in mind, Marth all the way over fucking here was hitting a hitbox out here. So I often think that shielding is like one of the biggest things that Falcos need to be considering against Marth, and specifically like forcing Marth to not just like, how do I want to describe this? That's a big weakness. If you think about the way Marth likes to play, like Marth probably goes in and he wants the grab, right? And a big concept that I think anyone should understand is if you're playing someone and you want to like get a feel for what they're gonna do, what you want to be thinking is like, what are their biggest kind of open ups? What are the things they're looking for? And against Marth at lower percents, obviously like grab is a big one. Forward air at like kind of low mid percents can be a big one. Dash attack can be a big one. And so that kind of gives you an idea of like what you want to play around. And basically what I would say is like, if you either play outside of his range and punish him, or you kind of get in on him and like shield whatever he's doing and then punish the lag. And I'm finding it's interesting because I'm like, there's a lot of stuff I want to say. We'll get to like lasers and stuff too. So I think trying to structure the getting hit part, it's like you want to be thinking when I'm entering kind of Marth's like space. Also, you want to be looking like, is he jumping? Is he not jumping? But when I'm entering Marth's space, I'm trying to like bait out some kind of attack and then punish in. Or if I can't do that, like I should probably shield. And then the mix up becomes like you run in and he like grabs you. Well, then shielding is bad. But if you run in and does a forward smash or a nair or something, you can punish him out of shield. So like getting hit a lot is a lot about like, we're not going to focus, Jamil, we're not going to focus on like Mewtwo versus Marth. This is strictly Falco versus Marth. Sorry, I can't cover multiple things. So like, I think the first thing that like, so stand like around here, it's too bad I can't just like quickly switch back and forth between characters. But like, sometimes I think a lot about getting in on Marth is like understanding, like literally just understanding kind of his threat ranges. So like he has, you know, how big is his forward smash, like basic spacing stuff, and then trying to like play just around it and then punish either the end lag or punish out of shield. And so like, that's why you were saying before to me that like you're struggling with like wave dash to shield. I think that can be like a really useful thing to learn. Cause like say for example, like don't shield right now just cause we don't have infinite shield health. Like if for example, I do something like this, like shield, like you should be able to get like a grab really easily. And similarly, like you'll sometimes like, and the thing is that there's a lot of, if the Marth has good reactions, he'll punish you though. Oh yeah, you're talking about Mewtwo stuff. So, so I think like when I'm going in, like let's switch back. I'll go Falco, you go Marth. Do Battlefield. Like what I will sometimes do, and I do think lasers dictate so much. So like go back to the ground, is like I might like run in, dash away, see if he does an option dash back in. And that kind of like there he is such a like mix-up based character. And you know what a mix-up is, right?
No.
So a mix-up is basically like, say for example, like every single time I laser and I run in and I nair, the way you might beat that is like I laser, you dash back a bit, and then you nair. So like let's just try it. Like I'll laser and nair, and you try to like give yourself a bit more space, like go to center. Okay, so I'll laser and then like do that. Okay. Ready?
Okay. Sure.
So you want to be like dashing back and pulling in. If you can't do it, that's fine because you're not like. I've been a Falco main for 4 or 5 years, Tybex. So yeah, so I'll laser. So just let me know when you're ready. I will do 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Or should I do go?
Sure.
Okay, so 3. You know, alternatively, why don't I just go Marth and you go Falco? I know we keep switching back and forth, but like, I'll show you kind of like some of the defensive stuff. Like just laser and then like after your laser, do an air. So try it.
Okay. Do I count down or?
Just do it. I think I should be fine. Like I could do something like that. Like the spacing wasn't exactly accurate, but like try it again. Like pulling back or like, see what I mean? Like, so all of these are me punishing, he lasered, and now he's going to run in immediately. And so like, I used to be a puff main Tybex in the start of my kind of melee career. So all of these are punishing like the run in and then like immediately attack afterwards. But if, for example, Falco was to go laser, run in, dash back, run in, now if I go forward air or F smash or something, you've either shielded or like spaced outside of it and then can punish. And so the mix up is like in certain positions, like I can't know which you're going to do. So I might be like, oh, he's going to laser, like try laser, laser and then nair, and I'm going to shield it. Like try that. So like I might, if you don't get the shine out there, or if you hit it earlier, I might get a grab there. But like if you laser and then say like laser, like what would be a good example? Laser and then run up and then F smash. Like if I try to shield grab it, or if I like, do you know what I mean? Like there's certain things where you kind of can't punish. So it's a lot about understanding like what kind of space does Marth have to do things, and then sort of the timings of when you're going in. And like, is this making sense, by the way? Definitely like ask me questions because I know it's like a lot of stuff to take in at once. Is that a yes? It makes sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so like where the things get kind of tricky is basically it's like you're always trying to get Marth to like commit to something, and then like he's trying to get you, he's trying to kind of call out your option. And sometimes there are things where like he like, and I think Marth in particular, because he's so good at controlling space, you know, he has a huge dash dance, he has a forward smash that covers like such a huge part of this platform. You can just see how much space it has. He has a dash attack that covers such a huge amount of space. You always want to be thinking like, where am I and where is Marth? Because like if Marth is here, like he can dash back. But if Marth is here, like he can't really do that. Or like maybe he can and it's like his spacing is like super tight. But like it forces him to be kind of like more careful. And then that can make it so that like maybe he's more likely to shield here. And we spoke a bit before about how Marth has a weak shield, right? In those kind of situations, like that's where maybe a shield poke can come in, and maybe you can be like, have him in the corner, and then like, you know, he's sitting here shielding, and already like his head is now vulnerable to a nair. You can see like it's not really covered, and nair has like Falco nair has a hitbox that'll cover it, but it's really like kind of mixing up what you're doing on shield and punishing him. That's how I would say like dealing with getting hit is like, people probably do too much of the same option. So maybe you like, you're finding like, oh man, like I can't deal with these like crazy dash attacks. So like I'll shield, and he just like run up and grabs you. But like, in reality, like sometimes you need to be doing counter options to that kind of stuff. So if he's like always trying to shield your stuff, maybe you do something which that beats shield or beats shield grab, and like, think about kind of what options he has, and then what options like Marth has. So a really good example of like thinking of that is like when Marth is in shield, like what's one of the biggest options that he wants out of shield?
Grab.
So if you attack him in front of him, grab is very, very easy to get, right? Like with shielding, you go for a grab. But if you do something like this, sorry, shield. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then he goes for grab, like you're crossing him up, then he can't get the grab. Or maybe you do something like, you know, you run up, wave dash back, like wave dash just like a bit outside of the grab range and then like do a forward smash, or a bit outside of the grab range and then do a down air or something. Like that punishes Marths who like to go for grab a lot, and then you can instead like, then they start doing like, okay, well maybe I'll do an F smash or something, or maybe I'll do a forward air and dash away. And the thing to really understand is like we spoke about space earlier, but like if for example, like let's say for example we talked about how like, oh, if they grab and you space around it, then you kind of have a hard punish. Well, what if they, instead of grabbing, they just like dash back? Well, even dashing back is still like bad in a way. It's not bad for them to do, but like because they lost space, right? So say for example, we talked about before about like laser and then run in a nair. What if instead you did like laser and then laser and they like dash back to avoid the nair? Well, now you have center stage and they've given up some space. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like there's this whole interaction going on where it's like, how is Marth going to be trying to attack me? And then how can I get in on Marth? Because like Marth from over here, very scary. Marth in on here, like, you know, his roll isn't that long. His shield grab only goes one direction. Even like his fair only goes one direction, right? His nair like covers a space that isn't always going to cover stuff out of shield. His up B goes one direction. So like there's a lot of stuff where like, and then, you know, some of his stuff is laggy. So it's all about like, okay, if I can get into this like little cone of space around Marth, then I can like punish him really hard. So, you know, the next thing you said, I'll just go through the stuff you said first and I'll talk about like some general Marth stuff. You said you get wrecked on a platform.
Yeah.
So the first thing I would say is like, I think that makes total sense. I think being underneath a platform kind of fucking sucks for Marth. So the first thing you want to be thinking is like, how can I avoid putting myself in those situations in the first place? Obviously, sometimes it'll happen where he goes like this, and then you're sitting there and you're just taking a bunch of damage. But there are also situations where like maybe you intentionally want to be like not jumping to a platform to escape in a way you might in a different matchup because he can kind of threaten that space, or like you're full hopping and stuff first. Someone's bringing up slide offs, and I think we have talked about this before, but do you know how slide off works?
Yeah.
So in general, if you are below a platform against Marth, this is kind of stage dependent, but you know, some of the most common things are they're gonna try to up tilt your tech options, and usually like it can't cover every single option, so there's often one option that you can get away with. But the thing is, slide offs can be really useful as a way to like slide off and counterattack. Another really big thing that a lot of Falcos don't use is if I like up throw you here, you might be at too high a percent. You can like get up thrown and then hold down and crouch cancel and then like get the fuck out of there. So like try that. Like I'll up throw you, I'll up tilt, and then you can like maybe try to run away. Sound good?
Okay.
Okay, so that was a tech chase. I don't think you really had time, but sometimes this is the thing. You're at kind of a high percent. So what I'll do is like I'll get you at a lower percent. So let's just try this. You see what I'm saying? Like all that, like it can allow you to get away. Another thing you can do is like hold down like with C stick or just control stick, and then like tech it down. And that same kind of idea, like that's like an ASCI down tech, which you'd be just holding and then hitting LRR, and like that can kind of give you stuff. Yeah, Tyvek's bringing up a really good point. Up tilt, you have to DI towards Marth to slide off. So you'd be doing that by holding like down with a control stick and kind of like away with the C stick. It sort of depends. Let's go back there just so the thing. And then if it's up air, you have to DI, or sorry, the opposite. You have to DI towards versus away. It's honestly, I don't really think about it so much as feel it out. Like, and the way you can practice it is in Uncle Punch, they have like a slide off thing. But I think whenever you're on platforms, the basic stuff is just like make sure to hit your techs, consider using slide offs, consider using crouch cancel, and then also like consider using shielding even, and like getting comfortable like shield dropping, you know. If you have a shield up and they push you off the platform, if your back is facing away, you'll go into this like tumble thing. So be mindful of that. Like sometimes light shield on the platform into like a shield drop can be useful. But like I would try to both get comfortable when you're on the platform and also avoid being on the platform in the first place. Like consider it a bit of like a loss if you end up in this situation. Because you know, there's like it's just not a good one to be in the first place, right? Like that shit happens. And there this is like another mix-up situation where like Tyvex was saying, there's some slide off counterplay you have. Hell, even if you get the slide off, he can be kind of like up there, oh, and I'm gonna like run and chase it or whatever, or like wave dash back because they're gonna do a slide off down there. So it's not gonna be perfect. It's just like not giving them the stuff for free. Like, see, you got the tech there, and that kind of saved you. Like, so like really hitting the techs. Even there, that was like pretty good slide off stuff. That makes it harder. But then one thing that's really important in all of Melee, and like especially versus Marth, is usually what happens is like, you know, when you get a recovery, like say you get like a crazy recovery, like you tech and you get this, you go to recovery, you get this crazy tech, but because you already thought you were dead, you kind of like die anyway. You ever had this happen to you?
Yeah.
So like the same thing kind of happens with Marth, where like people do the counter tech for the whatever situation they're in. So they're like, oh no, I'm on a platform versus Marth. I'll do this slide off. And then they like slide off and then just like shield right in front of him, and he just like reacts and grabs them. So it's like you want to be thinking, okay, don't like deal with this platform thing, and also think like, how do I get out of this situation in the first place? And sometimes that is just like taking a 50-50 and spot dodging his grab and then shining him afterwards. But sometimes it's like, okay, I CC'd here, like I took the up tilt, and now I'm just gonna like run onto this platform or something. And now we're in a new situation where I have to figure out how to get back down. But like, do you know what I mean? Where it's sort of like people will commit too hard to like, or like they won't think the next step ahead, and because they're still in a bad spot, like they end up getting fucked up anyway. Because like, say for example, you slide off the edge and you end up here. Well, now Marth might just do this. So you want to be thinking, okay, like I'm gonna slide off and maybe I'll shield, or maybe I'm. Do you know what I mean? Next big thing is you said struggling to deal with the approach. So we talked about this before. I think lasers are a huge part of like how you want to be playing against Marth, and a big part of how you're approaching is dealing with like the counterplay and mix-ups he has to deal with your lasers versus like when you're going in. And I think a big thing, let's just both go Falco, and we'll do FD just to keep it simple. So like I said before, and this applies to like a lot of Falco matchups, like people usually have some kind of rhythm with when they go in. So they might like laser, and then run in nair or something. And like the way to beat that, like why don't you do like laser, run in nair again? Like, so I might do something like try it again. I wasn't thinking. I might do like fade back down air. And the thing is though, is like usually it requires like some kind of commitment. So what you can do is be like laser, dash dance back, or like maybe you do laser, and you're just kind of pushing them into the corner and you're caring more about stage. Or maybe you do laser and they've been shielding your attack a lot. So you do like laser grab instead, or laser shine grab, which is like, and all of those things can be basically like good ways to deal with it. Let's actually play some. I realize like we should probably try to apply this. Why don't we just try the whole approach thing? So just a couple things to think about. Like things you could try is like laser immediate attack, which loses to like me dashing or avoiding it / shielding it. Unless of course that immediate attack is something like a laser grab or a laser shine grab, then that's going to lose to shield if you do it properly. Or it's like laser dash dance to try to bait out a response. Or it's like a couple lasers and just sort of seeing where I'm going. Or it's like laser and then you back up and do like a retreating down air or something. Does that make sense? Like some of these kind of things where like you're just trying to make me have to guess what you're doing rather than just like always know.
Right.
We'll talk a bit about take laser stuff in a second. There's a lot of stuff to do with like when Marth gets hit by a laser, he can like act out of it like everyone else can, but because he has such a good dash and also like good fair startup, gives him some counterplay. But let's just play a little bit first. How do you think you would deal with this on the edge situation?
Don't know.
It's kind of tricky. Like this is something that like theoretically it's pretty hard to deal with. Obviously, if they're just like sitting here stalling, but that's why we have like a ledge grab limit. But basically, like a lot of Marths will be like kind of like try to bait stuff, and one thing would just be to be patient and let them come back, or it's to like recognize that when they're in this position, like they only have like it's kind of like sort of like the Fox ledge dash up smash stuff, where like they only have a certain threat range, and you can kind of play around that. That's just like a random thought, but let's just keep going. So my grab. Why did I SDI away? Doesn't make any sense. Big thing I also want to talk about is Marth's recovery, because I think it's quite actually difficult to edge guard as Falco. But if you know what you're looking for, it's a lot easier. We'll keep playing a little bit. I just want to feel out some stuff that you're doing.
Falco, ready? Go!
Careful with the low percent dash attacks.
Right.
You want to be going for stuff that like opens Marth up and isn't vulnerable or crouch cancel. I also like it's not that up tilt isn't useful, but it's not like something you want to be relying on in the same way that you would like versus like a Falcon or something. Hey K Adu, thank you. I'm glad to hear it, man. What? That's shield poke. Also, while we're playing, maybe try to keep... I don't know why I suicided there. I didn't need to do that. But try to keep in mind like things that seem difficult, or like, what do I do here? Or, you know. play one more.
Choose your character
But just
versus
think about like, hey,
Falco. Ready?
what is he doing that I'm like struggling with, or oh my god. So I think one thing I'm noticing is I brought this up earlier, but like when like let's queue up a game. So like one of the things that makes Marth so difficult, one of the reasons why people get frustrated against Marth is they'll get in a situation that's really bad, and then like he's able to kind of put them in a new bad situation. And I honestly think it's the second bad situation that a lot of people struggle with rather than the first. So like there were times where like I would like up throw you, and I'd like say up air you on the top platform, or like up throw you here, and I start doing like up tilts and shit. And then like as soon as you come free from it, you immediately attack, and like you do it almost like not every time, but a lot of times. And the thing is like Marths are really good at like good Marths. Like so obviously there's like layers of mix up and shit, right? Where like okay, you know, sometimes it's good to immediately attack if they're like, you know, like I'm trying to think of a good situation. Like let's say like you immediately shield and I go for a grab. Well, like that's bad, but sometimes it's good to shield if like they're attacking you. But the problem I think lies in like if you always do the like immediate thing, then all I need to do is just like be ready for that immediate thing. So like I'll do like an up throw, and then I'll be like, okay, now he's just gonna like try to down air me, or he's gonna try to like jump, and I'll just wait for the jump and up air or something like it. Whereas like, you know how before we were talking about how Falco like the wheel of like Falco pressure, about how like they can grab the shine if they wait. Like, did we talk about this?
Yeah.
So like for people who are watching, like if Falco does a late nair and you shine, you can wait until after the shine to grab it. But the way to beat that is to double shine. If you do, like there's this whole kind of wheel. So like, why am I bringing this up again? That is a good example of how like staying in the situation can actually like be an advantage if you know like where you're able to escape. So for example, like let's say I'm a Marth, right? And I'm FD. I am a Marth right now, and I'm on like FD, and I'm chain grabbing you, and I drop my chain grab, and then you like tech away, and then I like chase the tech, and you immediately spot dodge. If I didn't commit there, I would just wait for the spot dodge and grab you. And the thing that like a lot of players can kind of do is expect like whatever kind of immediate escape option they're going to do, which sometimes is an attack, and just like wait for it. And that was what I was noticing like on the platforms, or in like grab situations, or in tech chase situations, is like because you're in a scary situation, you kind of do like the fuck, I got to get out of this. And it's like, you know, when people go in like quicksand and they say you need to like calm down and like think it through and not like rush into anything. I think it kind of applies for this too. So like, if you're on the up, you know, like the crouch cancel example is a good one where like you get hit by an up tilt and then you start crouch canceling, and then you're like, okay, well now I can actually get away from this. Like maybe you're gonna jump over here, or like you're in a tech chase situation, and you know you get over here and like it's tempting to shield, but maybe you like dash back a bit, or like you know that's a bad example because you're in the corner, or like. Or maybe you're in such a bad position that you just have to go for a spot dodge, but like then you try to get in a different position by pecking inwards, or just what I'm trying to say is just like having an escape plan in the what's the word? Bad situation that you're in that isn't like rushed is really important. And it's the rushing or the feeling of like I have to do something immediately, or I have to get out of here immediately. This even applies to recoveries, like, oh shit, I'm off the platform. Like say you get forward thrown. Like say I'm like over here, I forward throw you, and then like I immediately down tilt your jump. Like that jump was kind of like a jump without any thought or intention behind it. It was just like, fuck, I gotta get back to the ledge. I'm gonna jump. And it's like that kind of is a lot of newer Falcos like do stuff like that. I think it'd be helpful though if like is there anything like you have questions about, like what do I do in a certain scenario, or just like because I feel like I'm talking a lot and I'm not like letting you kind of speak about what you might be struggling with.
I'm not really sure.
So, I guess like let's talk about some like, well, you know, we'll break it down to like neutral and punish. Let's talk about some punish stuff because this is a big thing that I felt like I learned recently. And you know, of course, one of the challenging things with playing Marth is that like, playing against Marth, his punish game, I would say on Falco on a basic level, if they don't have really good defense, is actually pretty easy, right? Like he gets the grab, he can go for the chain grab. It's very like logical. He can react to a lot of things. He can pressure opponents in the corner and force certain options. His punish game is just very, very scary. He also has like really, really strong gimp game on the edge. So obviously you want to get your punish game to be stronger as well. And you want to be going for good options that set you up for stuff. You want to be also edge guarding effectively. So we'll talk about edge guarding on both sides first, I think. So when Marth is off stage, he basically has like a couple key mix-ups. Those are like his jump and his side B. And how he uses them will like affect what, like they're basically like, it's once again, it's a mix-up. So it's like, it's not something you can always react to. It's something you have to be like throwing your paper to beat their rock or your scissors to beat their paper, like in advance. So say for example, like if you were to knock me off stage, I might be like all the way over here and then I go to jump and I up B immediately. And that would be like one timing that you would want to cover with say like down air. But if I instead go jump side B and then thing, your down air wouldn't cover it anymore. Does that make sense? So what I think a lot of Falcos, funnily enough, don't realize is they'll have a Marth be off stage and they'll be trying to cover shit, and they don't realize that like in many situations it would just be useful to just like refresh invincibility with the ledge stall, like to put them in a situation where like if Marth does up B, he's not going to just like clip them off. Do you know what I mean? Like when you up B, it's insane that I'm actually dying here. Like when you up B on the stage and like someone does that, if you get hit by it, you might get reversaled, right?
Yeah.
So a huge part of it is like when they're in a position where they're like below the stage around here, it's often about refreshing the invincibility and then like trying to, if they're below you and you refresh invincibility, trying to get them to go above you, and then you can punish them with that downer thing that we talked about earlier, or like a back air, or sometimes like let's say for example, let's say I'm down here and I do the side stall and you see it coming, like that's where you can hard commit and say like, okay, I'm gonna just ledge stall once more, so that when he side B's, like I'm gonna delay it and then I'm gonna roll up and he's not gonna be able to get back. Does that make sense? So like a huge part of it is like when you're doing the refresh, if you can't make it to the ledge though, and of course like, you know, if they're farther off, like if they're up here, you know, it's usually safe to be lasering a bit And a big thing, just like a general tip, is when Marth's side B, he's pretty vulnerable. Like look at how much time he has. Like I'll just try to spam side B. Like you can see there's actually like a fair amount of time where if you're just sitting here and you refresh and you do like a back air off, you can get a lot going there. The second thing is if you're not, what's the word? Able to get to ledge in time and you're not like interrupting them going high. Because if they go high, like maybe you down air up here or whatever, usually it's about a more like when are they going to up B? Are they going to side B? That kind of thing. If you can't get to the ledge, down smash can work. You just need to be timing like when I'll put some damage on you so you can actually, we'll explain about this little ASCI thing down. Like I'll just do like a basic up B and try to down smash it.
Okay.
So, oh my god, I clearly don't know the ranges of Marth up B that well. Okay, let's try again. And like that low percent, you can see it would be like a reset situation. So like let's try it again. You know, just really simple. Another thing you could also be doing, okay, like in this position, is there, take some guesses or like, do you have any idea what else you think you could do besides down smash?
Shine down here.
You actually could do shine down air. I think you would need to have more invincibility or be calling out a specific point and lag. At the low end, I would just say just a regular down air, like run off down air. Like while they're here, if you can like space it so that you're like high enough to not get clipped yourself, or you're fading back enough so that you're not gonna like fall off stage, you can try it now. Like, so I'm gonna wait. So see, it's tricky. And this is the kind of stuff you want to get kind of like comfortable with. And that's why like Uncle Punch is useful, because you can see like in these situations where you could be capitalizing on something, like instead you're dying.
Yeah.
In that situation, I couldn't come back. But yeah, so like usually if you can't get there, you can do like down airs, you can do high down airs, or you can try to grab ledge, or you can try to full hop back air and like call out their thing. Usually there's a whole thing going on where like when he's off stage, like if you can like call out the side B and then push him, he gets kind of in trouble. You also, do you know that like you know how Marth's side B works, like sort of?
In what way?
Like how the kind of like one goes up but the rest go down?
Yeah.
Like yeah, if he's like, for those who don't know, like if he's not like, once he's off stage, his first side B will push him up a bit. You can see like, but the remaining ones will like be a falling thing. So if he hasn't touched the ground, it's kind of like, it's like a second jump. Like it allows you to sort of like not lose momentum. Whereas like you can see I'm actually falling here. So definitely keep track of that. If he's already used it, it's effectively like one less resource. If he has used his jump, then he has very few resources, and that's where you really just want to be like waiting to either call out this up B with either a down air or a back air, or just grabbing ledge entirely. As for the punish itself, I think a big thing that not enough Falcos practice, and it's why FD feels like a bad stage, is like getting the shine down air stuff down, no pun intended, is really big. So like I want to say it's like, this is where I the numbers would be useful, but I think it's like 18 or 20%. You can start pillaring Falco. So I'll go Falco, you go Marth. So like once you have a bit of percent on him, you can actually like nair or dare into a kind of pillar situation. And what's going on there is like, it's this whole like weak down air versus full op. Like when I say weak down air, do you understand what I mean?
Like not with the
It's basically like the longer the down air has been out, the kind of the weaker it gets. And so like what you end up doing is like, maybe you're like hitting at the very top, or maybe you're like, you basically want to be not doing the hardest down air, and instead be doing like a kind of, it's like an immediate down air and then timing the fast fall so that so that Marth can't tech basically. And I'm realizing this is kind of tricky to explain. Does anyone in chat have any questions, by the way, during all this? So like, I'll show you again, like, so like early percents, you might just be building up kind of to get him to a point where it's easier to pillar him. But later, it's just like I messed up the timing there. I needed to fast fall a bit earlier. But it's just sort of like, and you actually, like in that situation, I clearly needed to double jump. You can see it's really precise. Like there, I just barely caught you with the tail of my, what's it called? Double jump, excuse me. But like, you want to be able to, like, you can actually like hit him and then just like pillar him for a while and then knock him off stage. You know about Marth Killer, right? Just the light shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
So that's also like another edge guarding thing, by the way. That's if you know that they have to up B. What they can do, like if they are close enough, is like hit it and that'll knock you over. But so you'll kind of have to deal with that. I have to sort of see the situation to know exactly what I need to be doing. Another thing, like that, like practicing, like I would go into like a Uncle Punch. I would set him to like 30 and I would practice like pillaring and doing these like weak immediate down airs, and then like trying to like time the full hop. So like you're not doing this like late, you're doing it at the beginning, and then time the fast fall, sorry, to be able to actually land. And if you can do that correctly, you'll we should try, like, I'll show you, try recovering. We'll just show, like, that's probably too far, isn't it? Like I can kind of show you what I mean. So we'll get you up to a good percent. I'll start pillaring you. I'm kind of rusty as well. Thinking what else do I want to be going over? Usually it's down air, by the way. See, like I missed there. You can see the drift. Like this is why when you see Marths do it, it's really quite precise. Like it's not an easy thing to do. Like, because like you can see I needed to double jump there. Sometimes it's just a full hop. Like at the higher percents, it needs to be a double jump. I feel like I'm just saying random information here. So do we want to play a bit more? Do we want to what do you think would be easiest to help kind of...
Let's play a bit more.
Okay.
Versus Falco. Ready? Go!
What? That's not what I meant to do. Up throw, by the way, great throw at kind of the lower percents. You know, the up throw fair, which is what you kind of just did. Got to stop these dash attacks. They're just not good until much higher percents.
Right.
I know it's like, it's tempting, especially because like if you play Peach a lot beforehand and like Fox and even Falco's like dash attack at high percents can be okay, but at low percents, not good. Okay. So like there you like at least made it difficult for me, right? And then when you rolled up, like I end up on the ledge. Try to save you. But it's like, but sometimes if I know you're gonna sit there and refresh invincibility, I could like try to call out afterwards. It really is just a mix up, and that's what's like hard. Okay. I also think it's worth trying to like shine out at like that kind of 20 to 30 range, where like if I up throw you, pardon?
Like during the chain grab?
Yeah, during the chain grab, because sometimes you can get it. Like it's around like 20 to 30. If you like get the slight DI and he doesn't get the pivot, you can get that, and that can lead to a reversal. a good example of like being in a bad situation and then like get up attacking because like that's sort of your escape. But like not paying attention to, like where I am and where like, you know, like if I'm outside of your get up attack range and you get up attack, you're either assuming that I'm going to enter that range or you're what's the word? Just like spamming it, right? And then that's easily punishable. Back to power shielding. Like, I like that patience. Even though you end up getting hit anyway, like, nice shine out as well. Like, I was kind of waiting for you to, like, roll. Get up attack, bad habit. Okay. Grab ledge. Or, yeah, or Marth Killer. In that case, Marth Killer was good because I was far enough away. So you're kind of hanging out right now in the corner when you probably want to be either hanging out on stage or you're trying to kind of ledge stall, but don't just be like hanging around here. Oh my god, that's so dumb. I just wanted to like end it simply. Okay, let's keep going. I'll just think of things as we play. Do you want to switch to a different stage, or do you want to keep this?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, let's keep going. I'm gonna try to power shield more because that's a big part of like. Gotta make sure to air dodge up, but I like the air dodge. It's just not as good on fast fallers because you have to be pretty high up. So I haven't seen you mix in like grab much. And you do a lot of approaching down airs, which I think can be good. It's just the way I like to think of down air is like high risk, high reward. It's a good example of like bad situation into immediate attack. It's hard because I know like when you're newer and someone's talking to you about stuff like this, it's like there's so much, it's like information overload and just trying to keep track of any one thing can be hard. I did too many side views. Why did I up 30 there? Definitely spamming get up attack too much. I wouldn't go for ledge dashes unless you have like practiced them a lot. There's other better ledge options to do that aren't like risky and aren't going to lead to like tournament winners and stuff.
Okay.
So I'll show you some of those options because I think that like a lot of players would benefit from just not trying to go for like high level ledge dashing. Like keep in mind if you're watching, like people didn't ledge dash until like pretty late in the meta. So this is a ledge dash, right? So what else could you go for? Double laser is a big
Double
one.
laser.
Do you know how to do it yet?
No.
So basically, double laser, you just drop down, and then you spam B. So like down on this stick, and then like up with jump.
But don't fast fall.
No, you don't fast fall. So you're getting to the B button too slow. So you just need to be like quickly. Like that was good. So you'll start with that. That's one option. Definitely an option worth practicing. I know people say like that's not safe and shit, but it actually is safe in certain situations. Like basically, it's not so good if like a person is just sitting here crouching or shielding, or they're like up on a platform. Like say you are where you are now, double lasering makes no sense here, right? Or like it doesn't make much sense. But let's say for example you're like over here, like then it can actually make a lot of sense. Or if you like think they're trying to call out a specific option, it can be a mix-up. But double laser is really good. Another good one, it's kind of hard to do on Dreamland, is it's hard to do on Dreamland, is wave landing on the platform like that. That's like, again, I find it like, let's do a different stage because it's way easier on something like Yoshi's. I even find it hard to do on Dreamland. But like, and this stuff's useful against Marth, right? So like, you know, maybe you go wave land, or maybe you go, you're from the ledge, you jump and you just shield, like jump, shield, you know, wave land. Getting familiar with like, okay, you know, I like side B, and then like, you can also do like waveland back. I don't think that's very useful versus Marth. Even waveland forward isn't good if he's like F smashing the platforms a lot. But you know, like imagine I'm a Marth. And it takes practice, like you can see, like
Yeah.
but like even something as simple as just jumping, not tournament winner by pressing X, but dropping down and then jumping the platform. If you want to practice the waveland, by the way, just hold down and practice just like wave landing in place. Like landing and then wave landing. That makes sense? If that's the waveland away. I'm just thinking like just to kind of not have to make it complicated. So those are two options. Double laser, waveland on a platform. Another big one on a lot of stages that can be useful is edge cancel side B. Like here, it's you pull all the way back, and you get, all you do is you ledge refresh, pull like your character all the way back basically, and then side B. That's on Battlefield. Takes a little time, practice to get it. You're not pulling far back enough. Let go. Like when I let go, I'm actually like pressing away basically. There, you got it. And so that, like if they're like over here, it can be a way to get out of a situation, and you're like, okay, I need to get the fuck out of here. And this works on literally every stage except for FD, obviously, and what's it called? Yoshi's. So that's the thing is it's different depending on the stage. So like here, it's you pull back as hard as you can, whereas on Pokemon, it's more like pull back halfway. Like you can try it. Like rather than, it's more like here. You like pull back just a little bit, yeah, see, you got it. But like practicing that as well as like double laser, in this case you obviously can't waveland onto the platform, or hopefully that's obvious. You can also do like down air from ledge, but that's not something you want to be spamming. You can do what's it called, ledge hop side B. I think that's not a great option, but it's not bad. Like the edge cancel is usually better, but the edge cancel usually isn't threatening anything, whereas doing this is actually attacking. Trying to think of other good ledge options that aren't ledge dash. On this stage specifically, it's tricky. A lot of them like involve like platforms, or yeah, the side B. I wouldn't up B again. I'm just thinking, is there anything I'm missing? But by mixing in those, like sometimes you're attacking in the form of a thing, down airing off ledge, edge cancel side B. Like, yeah, you're not ledge dashing, and ledge dashing allows you to like put out a hitbox or shit like that. But it still makes their life difficult and it doesn't give them like number one, if you miss a ledge dash, you die, and also number two, like if you tournament winner, you should die as well. This is so bad. Marth can just forward air this. He can down air it. Like, so I think there's really no reason not to. Like, if you want to practice ledge dashes and get better at them, sure. But I think up until you have that, I would just like focus on the options you do have, which, like, you know, if you see him shielding or crouching ready for your double laser, side be out of there. And once you have those options, you can rely on them more. And like, or like you won't get like gimped as often. Other recovery things against Marth, like, you don't want to be below the stage if you can avoid it. It's really about like using your up B in certain situations to play around what he's doing. You don't want to be up being too close to the edge, or he can just run off and fair you. There's some stuff to do with like side B where you can what's it called, SCI up on the jabs, but like really that's not gonna be that relevant. Let's play a bit more. I'll think of other stuff.
Versus Falco. Ready? Go!
I honestly think for now, like, learning to deal with power shielding is probably not super necessary, but I could touch on it. I can make it a VOD, sure. What I asked people, I think avoid the air dodge for now. I like the idea, and I think it actually, like, for some characters, it's kind of like another jump. Why did I do that? I rarely see you shield, by the way. Like, you don't shield that much in neutral. Like, say, for example, if you did, like, laser, run-up, shield. Like, I think run-up shield versus Marth in particular is super good. The logic is, if they're, like, running in and forward airing you, or, like, they're running in... F-smash, sorry, I didn't mean to hit you there. You run up, you, like, literally just run up and shield. And then, like, so, for example, like, try it, like, laser, and then, like... run up afterwards and shield. Let's just say, like, I'm doing this, like, you might be able to punish me out of that. The forward air in particular is not going to be that great, like, if it's well spaced. But, like, if I did something like that, you should easily get a grab, or you can do, like, a shine out of shield. But that's not so good if the person is running up and grabbing. If they're running up and grabbing, though, you can try to dash dance outside of the range. You can do what's called a... Do you understand the concept of overshoot and undershoot?
Like, would you go like behind them?
So
with an aerial, or
like it's basically anything, but the idea is that, like, if, for example, I'm dash dancing like this, if you were overshooting your attack, you wouldn't be aiming for where I am, which is right here. You'd be aiming for, like, the back of my dash under the assumption that I dash back. So so dash dance, like an overshoot fair might be going, like, covering this space back here. Undershooting is kind of the opposite. It's like they're assuming you're going to be somewhere, and so you put out an attack and pull back, basically. So say, for example, like a really powerful tool as Falco, not so much in this matchup, but is like fade back down air, because if you look, like, do a down air and pull back, and, like, make sure to hit the L cancel and everything, like, just short up, try to pull back as much as you can, like, so, like, you can see, like, if we were to actually be able to see the hitbox, like, do a down air and I'll try to pause. Like, it's like this space. So if anyone runs into this space, they, like, kind of get fucked. So even, like, a Marth who tries to grab, like, might get, like, so just do it in place for a bit. Like, a Marth, like, that tries to grab might get punished by it. But that can be a decent tool. It can also be a decent tool in a full hop. Is it that great for this matchup? I don't really think so, but, like, understanding the concept of undershooting and overshooting is going to be important, because it's like maybe he dash attacks, like maybe you run in with an aerial and you're trying to catch the back of his dash, or maybe instead you're trying to, like, get him to move into your space and you do, like, a retreating back air or something. I think the thing to remember with Marth though is like generally the way you beat him is not like aerial to aerial. It's more like after he's done his aerial or before he's done his aerial. Does that make sense? Just because like he's gonna beat you out because he has the space and the drift, but then like, you know, that's where like the run up shield or like that kind of shit can get really powerful because, you know, maybe he runs in and does like that, and then it's like, okay, well, oh well, even though he has this drift, like I feel like Marth, the thing that's tricky about Marth is he has like all this power until you get into him, like in on his space, and then he's actually like really weak and punishable, and you can like seriously fuck him up. And the problem is that Falco's give him like too much ability. Like they don't challenge the end lag he has, and they let him get away with stuff like dash attacking and without mixing it up at all. And I really think like if you get very confident out of shield, like by like being able to wave dash effectively, if you make sure to mix up your attacks going in by like running and maybe dash dancing to bait out a response. Like, do you know how many fucking Marths when you run in will go like try to punish me just like doing this. So like you want to be like try running in, dash dancing out and avoiding the range and then down airing. So you can see like a lot of things in Melee, the problem is like it's not just about knowing what to do, it's also about being able to execute. It's like being able to like actually space around his range and like try to get as close as you can without getting grabbed. Like I don't mean just by walking forward, although that can be useful too to see how much range he actually has. Like, but you can see like that's the kind of space that you want to be playing in, and this is what Mango's so good in, is that like if we imagine that like Marth's grab range is like from here to the center of that bush, the center being here, like it's not, it's pretty close. You can kind of see like it's around like here, might even be past it. Mango is so good at like playing like right here. Like he'll be like and he has the spacing, or maybe he'll run up and wave dash down and then do that. Wave dash down with Falco, not as good because you're not as fast, but like maybe do a little bit of wave dash back. Just thinking about like as soon as he commits, it's really hard to deal with. Like it's like he's kind of vulnerable, and imagining him as this thing that like attacks and then is in lag, and you're constantly trying to basically either bait it out or like mix them up, because eventually maybe sometimes he's just like waiting for you to attack his shield, and then you just like want to be doing like intelligent shield pressure. There's one other thing I was gonna say. Because Marth is so grab heavy too, just being able to not get shield grabbed is a really big thing. So one thing that you want to do as Falco is like, of course, like the late nairs, the down airs. Maybe you might lean more heavily on nairs, just because, especially as like a newer player, nair is a little bit safer than down air. So the timing of the late nair is easier to not get shield grabbed, but also like keeping in mind. I feel like I want to make sure that you're focusing on only a couple things and not on a billion things, while also wanting to make the stream a bunch. Let's just keep playing. We'll play for a little while. The problem is that I'd love for you to play like Kitty Marth, you know, and not someone who's like still kind of good at kind of picking up the habits. Gotta stop with the dash attacks. MASH is in the sitcom. Yes, I know that there is a radar on that. I haven't really watched the show though. I think a big thing too is just like when you're in a situation, you might not have like, you just don't know what to do in that situation that would like even protect you against the options Marth has. And that's kind of like why you're suffering, I guess, is like the stuff you're doing. It's kind of like you're playing against someone who's using rock, paper, scissors on you. And you're like, you don't even really know what paper is necessarily or what rock is. And that's like, that's a thing that is true in like every matchup. But like sometimes there'll be a situation where like you'll be on a platform and you're kind of like stressed. And like maybe you could be shielding or something. And like that shielding would at least protect against attacks. Or maybe you're jumping to avoid the hitbox. But like, do you have a plan for how you're getting down? I think thinking about that is really important, and doing things with intention. If you really want to get serious, you watch like your VODs. I like the grab there a lot. So now I have you cornered. Get the downer on me. Grab. Okay. So one thing I like to do as Falco in most matchups, and I think I'd really recommend this for people who are playing against floaties especially, but really any character, is like as they start to get to higher percents, and at 72 isn't really high enough, I'd say like 90, 100, etc., is doing laser forward tilt. So you do laser and then forward tilt. So like try like running from here into there, like so like you do, and then you do a laser forward tilt. Like imagine, and like that's forward smash. So it is done by just like doing the tilt in the same way that if you do an up tilt like unbuffered, it's just like that. So like try to just like run up laser forward tilt me. See, it's actually kind of hard to execute. Yep. And so like if you get enough percent on people, laser forward tilt is like, it's very safe, right? Because not only is it putting out a hitbox that's a projectile, it's also putting out like a low lag move. And in particular, if you do it downward angled, it kind of like can pressure them when they're like in this space, if they're like coming off the ledge or whatever, or if they're just like in the corner, without really committing heavily yourself. Like if you're in the corner, I'll go Falco, you go Marth.
Hang on. I'm not Marth.
It's fine if you just go Falco as well. I'll just get you.
Okay.
I'll just get some percent on you. Like, say for example, I'm like running in, I do laser, that. Do you see how like it kind of, it's just like low lag. It's obviously like super terrible if I go like, wait, stay where you are. If I do something like, wait, I'll do it like over here. Like that's doing nothing. But once you're at like, at a decent-ish percent that it like could knock you down. It can be like a really safe way to engage with like basically any character. Like stay a little bit closer to the edge.
Oh, to the edge? Okay.
Yeah. See, like that. That wasn't like a typical recovery, but like that's. And then like after the laser F tilt, you can be like laser F tilt. And if it doesn't hit, you can do like a down air to stuff there, like fade back down air to stuff there and attack. And if they just stay there, they might still be in the corner, and then you can kind of like deal with it. But that's one thing as well I would like consider adding. Okay, so let's go back to Marth. Does anyone watching have any questions about specific stuff in the matchup? I think to cap it off, we'll watch some like the slide off, but it's about having a plan for after you hit the slide off, right? Oh, another thing, really important against Marth. I don't actually think you do this that much, but I don't think you don't do the it that much, but also you don't do the recovery I'm talking about. So this is applicable for every character, but especially Spaceys because their recovery is so committed. Marth will like come over here. I'll down throw you. What people will often do in that situation, I don't mind the jump back side B. One thing you can do sometimes is like when you're off stage as Falco or Fox or literally any character, is you can just it's such a large ledge grab hitbox, but you can just like jump to ledge. So try to like we'll wait for Randall to get out of here. I'll down throw you and then just try to like get under it and like jump to safety from below. Don't use any up B, side B or anything. So like, so you went high. What you want to be doing is like not crossing like this kind of line, but still like getting underneath it. So like it would be like this. Oops, let me see, like that. So you've fallen and you're kind of going up. And so like maybe if you're down throw, it's like you can go a bit up, but like because maybe I do this or something, or I'm attacking here, but you can get kind of under it like that. Exactly. And too often Falcos and people in general think that I'm off stage. That means I need to use my recovery moves, which is like up B, side B in Falco's case. But in reality, sometimes it's just like safer to not commit an option and to just jump. And then if you get called out there, like then maybe you use the up B, maybe you do whatever. But like oftentimes it's like a very, very good option. Now the way to beat it, like maybe they immediately grab ledge, or maybe they do a move that like covers it, or maybe they run off and like Falco's way to beat it is usually just like run off and down air. Marth could do it too. Because if like try the same thing, but I'll run off down air you. I missed actually. But you didn't go to ledge either. See? Like, but what does that lose to? Is this you know how before I was talking about forward throw F smash with Falco?
Yeah.
And we did that thing. This kind of applies to Marth too, but like at a different percent and like with different stuff. Where like if I try to call out, like I'm gonna down throw you, you're gonna end up around here. I could run off down air and call out the jump to ledge. But then you can jump back side B, and I see, and then like maybe we're at neutral, or at best you have an advantage. So that's one thing you can be doing. But like the jump to ledge, like honestly, Marths aren't used. Like bad Marths won't be able to deal with it. They'll think like, okay, now I'm gonna wait for the side B or whatever, or this situation go for the counter. But sometimes it's just like, you know, if you're mixing them up by doing the immediate side B, you're doing up B sometimes, you're jumping to ledge, you're shine stalling beforehand, and then side B. Keep in mind, shine stall, not very good below the stage, or like it can be, but like it has to have a purpose. There's so many things in Melee that are like, if you do X, then you can do Y. Anyway, we'll keep playing. Keep in mind a really basic laser heights thing as well is like when Marth dashes, he's pretty low. So you want to be shooting a laser that's like around this high. So you don't like, so shoot your laser. Like, just do one more. It's like, I'll do a dash and you want to make sure you can hit the dash. See what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a problem that like people like this laser is gonna hit. But like if I dash in, sorry, go for another laser. Okay, run. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is why a lot of Falcos go like, I just get grabbed no matter what, or I get lasered no matter what. Nothing I seem to do works. And it's like they're not thinking about like how those options can kind of get fucked over just by like it literally isn't hitting. So like keeping the lasers at like a mid height is useful, also because of the whole power shield thing. Where like what you just did right there, where like if I laser and you power shield, 1 sec.
Yeah.
Then I can kind of. I'm so bad at it, honestly. It's literally like a 10-frame window, and I'm so shit at it. I'm actually better at like just the typical one, because that's like the one I actually use as Falco. But basically, if you crouch, Marth's power shield is a lot more forgiving. You can also do like a dash power shield for the same reason. But you want to be like practicing actually having consistent laser heights is a big thing too, because like even as you're doing it right now, you're having like different laser heights and shit. Let's play one more game, and then maybe we'll watch like Zane versus Mango or something for like a little bit and see what we can kind of learn. So that's like not being comfortable getting to ledge, which is a big problem a lot of newer players have. Now it's okay to go for dash attacks, by the way, but even still, like, you want to be going for things like with an intention.
Yeah.
Like the CC. Kind of a bold CC to go for though, because at that percent, I can just like if I get a tipper, you're not gonna be able to CC it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think that this stage is not that bad. Like the chain grab is rough to deal with, but like Falco's punish game is really good on this stage. And I think if people find that they really hate this stage, it's probably because they're also not punishing Marth as hard as he's punishing them. And I know that like his punish is probably easier. Wow. But at the end of the day, that's what people need to be doing. By that. This is what I mean, like, that's a perfect example. Like, I up throw you, I drop it, I dash away, I wait for the get up attack that you do immediately afterwards, and I just get the grab again. And you exit that situation feeling like, fuck, man, like, I just can't get away. But what you're missing is, like, it's not the first situation that's happening that's, like, the problem. It's, like, the immediate panic option that the second situation creates. Like, it's like here, like, when you land there, some guy immediately goes for a spot dodge. And I'm not saying spot dodge is bad if you know I'm going to, like, run in and try to grab you. But, like, if I just think, like, well, Genuine here is just always going to go for, like, the panic option, then I can just wait for the panic option every single time. And there, like, you were actionable here, but you were like, I don't know what to do. So, like, there's a lot of situations I've been seeing where I'm thinking, like, maybe you should just shield. Like, if you watch the replay, like, I wish I had, like, an easy way. Like, I'll get a grab on you and I'll like, tech chase or something. Like, let's just say, like, I'll do a tech chase scenario here. Yeah, that wasn't a tech chase scenario, but do you get what I'm saying? Where it's like, when you've escaped the combo, you don't kind of do anything. You're sort of like, oh, fuck. And, like, even just, like, immediately attacking, even immediately spot dodging, like, can sometimes be good. Immediately shielding will only be, like, will beat certain attacks unless I'm grabbing a lot. Like, but then the opponent can adapt to that. Like, right there. Like, let's, for example, I'll kill you. And I'll do some down throw tech chases and just, like, try to get out of them. But, like, see, so, like, there. You got the shield up, but then you try to go for an immediate shield grab, and that didn't work either. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a really good example where, like, you went for the immediate shield grab. That's not bad, but, like, in this specific situation, like, it was spaced, and I'd still be able to punish it. There, I go for the dash attack because I can see that you're kind of, like, in a better spot. I wait for the spot dodge, but that's okay because at least you're doing an option that, like, you know, is beating something, although you don't want to be doing it literally every time because then I just wait for it every time. So, like, I dash dance expecting something there, but had you immediately attacked me, it would hurt me. Do you see what I mean by the mix-ups? Or it's like,
yeah,
it's about doing it kind of like doing something different every time. But the problem you have is also, like, just because you're kind of overwhelmed, is like when you get the down throw, you're like, oh shit, like, what should I be doing? So, like, try again, like, to, like imagine just you're in a game situation and I'm just, like, down throwing you here. Like what do you think you should be doing? You're also rolling away every time. Sometimes you could like wait, get up attack. Sometimes you could wait, just get up. Like it's not like rolling away is always the correct thing. It's just trying to make that unpredictable. And if you see me going for things like dash attack, either try to run up and shield it or like space around at F smash. Depends. So that up B, way too close. Don't want to be up. Don't want to be right here up being. At that point, just like fastball the ledge. Like just be like. Do you understand why?
But wouldn't you just down tilt me?
The thing is if you up B here, you have to be thinking that you're like committing here for like 3 seconds, and that's always bad. It's literally like.
Since you're already doing this, whoops.
So I'm not saying that that's like I'm saying that not saying that fast falling to ledge is better. I'm just saying like never ever 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 up B like this close to the stage. Like if you're up being like here or fucking all the way up here and you're just like up being, all I have to do is just like run up and hit you or like run over here and hit you. Like literally my F smash will cover like most of the space that I just described. Jump forward or recover. You only really want to be up being if I have to like run off and hit you. And like that's just something to kind of keep in mind. And this is why like I think when Falcos do this matchup, all of these mistakes add up together and then it feels fucking terrible. And it's just like, what is going on? Like he's so good at dealing with my mistakes. Jump to ledge there like was sort of good, but just timed it a little poorly. Good recovery. That time I expected you to do the same thing. In that situation, like you could up B or you could shine stall, then jump and do it. It's just like timings and shit, right? See how like you tried to dash away, but like it was a little late. Like maybe try doing like, I don't know, what would be a good quick option? Like maybe down smash or something if you think of coming in. Or I always like fade back down air or something like that. Or shield if you don't think you have time. But then if he's grabbing you a lot, like the tricky thing about say low percent is if you're getting grabbed at low percent, he's probably going to try to go for the grab again, because even that, like you got down throwed and you got out of it and then you immediately ran with a dash attack, which one isn't going to work because I'm at 31%. And like that's the biggest thing. It's just like it's just the immediacy of it. I'm not saying everything has to be delayed. It's just I don't know, there's something about the rhythm that's very easy for me to catch on to because it's always happening immediately and the options might not even necessarily be good options. I'm bad at the regrab there. Same goes for starting a side B super close to the ledge. It's just like the startup is too easy to punish. Was that you trying to jump to ledge?
No.
Okay. Because jumping to ledge might have beat that. But just, you know, be quick. So again, like slow to react, right? You get out of the down throw tech chase and you're just kind of like standing there. And it's not about like reaction speed. It's just about like you don't already have an idea of what you're going to do. Like you have basically like when I down throw you, you have like all of that time to think about like, okay, I'm going to tech away. And then after this tech, maybe I'm going to try to like jump immediately to get out of there. and like select like just try like jumping immediately as an option. Like it's really slow, right? Like you got to be there. Like that's like okay, he's gotten out of it. Like that's like one way that like if I went into dash attack, like presumably, and you see, do you see? Like that's a perfect example. I like went into dash attack you and you were out of the way, or like
Yeah.
and it's like this is kind of what I mean. Like so you could if you get down thrown, like maybe you jump out of the way, or maybe you shield and try to punish it, or maybe you spot dodge, but again spot dodge very committal. Maybe you like end up in this situation and like if you're Marth or something, like you're Falco though, so who cares? We're not gonna do Marth stuff. Maybe you do like fade back down air. Maybe you do like I don't know immediate fucking nair. Like that wouldn't beat a lot of things, but like it just kind of depends. Or maybe you like try to like dash away if you have more space. But just try to come up with something. Yeah, see, yeah, waiting there for the roll and then rolling the opposite direction that you see me going. Like it's just all these things like make it harder for me. But if all I have to do is just like grab you. See, like you're not really doing anything after. It's like there's too much time kind of between picking an option. And even though I've said like this sounds like conflicting advice because I've also said like be patient. But when I say patient, I mean like patient with what option you're choosing. So when you waited before on the floor and then rolled, that was like an option you were committing to that involved patience. But don't be like, all right, I'm gonna jump after he down throws me and then like wait to do the jump because the whole point of the jump is to get out as fast as possible. Does that make sense? So like, and like if I'm dashing in and I don't shield or I'm not at a high enough percent, I might get really punished by a get up attack or something. But don't do a get up attack every time, or else I'll just like space. I really think just playing without dash attack for a while would really help you because you do it way too much. And it's like it's or like at the very least playing without it until like your opponent is above 100, and like the way you can check what percent your opponent is like on the platform. Like take some time between each stock, look at your opponent's percent, and go, should I be dash attacking this situation? Answer is probably no. Yeah, see, immediate up tilt. I don't know if that's necessarily good, but like at least it's something that like, oh, maybe if I'm attacking from above. Because I think it's like this whole like escape thing is where like that situation that just occurred is just another example of like you escape but you don't really escape, and then it just makes it so easy for the Marth. And in fairness, Marth fucking can cover this shit way more easily than I think some other characters can. But like that doesn't mean that once you start doing things correctly. Oh fuck. It's definitely a controller thing. It didn't register that I was facing the right direction. Good slide off. Okay. Generally, if you're going to run up grab, it's probably good to have a laser behind it. So if you're thinking, like, I'm going to try to run up grab, maybe just, like, shoot a laser into the run up grab. Make sense?
Yeah.
I wanted to save you. So you haven't really tried doing that jump to ledge thing. I don't blame you. You're getting like a fuck ton of information at once.
Yeah, we've been going for a while.
Pardon?
We've been going for a while.
Oh yeah, true. How long has it been going? Is it 2 hours? Yeah, 1 hour 40.
Almost, yeah.
Okay, let's wrap this up then with just like we'll do some watching of like actual games. And that way we'll like just a quick game, and I'll try to incorporate like Pain versus Mango, just some of the stuff that he's doing. I'll stream to Discord as well, so you can see what I'm talking about.
Aiden has closed the door, and I think our players are locked in here.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, this is the new Smash Summit. I want SCL. I want Falco. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go to. This is probably fine. Okay. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna grab water. Okay, so I think before we start, I think some of the main takeaways, because I know we gave a lot, is like try not to put yourself in bad positions if you can avoid them, like being on the platform in the first place. If you get in a bad situation, including like something simple like getting grabbed or like you're on the platform, whatever, try to not panic and have a clear answer or like thing that you're gonna do that actually achieves something. So for example, like if you're jumping out, that's like trying to avoid the immediate up tilt. So it's a good solution. If you're spot dodging, that also would avoid the immediate up tilt. Like let's say you're on a platform, you do a spot dodge, you avoid the immediate up tilt. It's not as good in this situation though, because like they just do another up tilt or something. You're still on a platform above them. You stuck in this situation. Whereas like in a down throw check chase where they're trying to regrab you and you down throw and then you spot dodge, you know, like, okay, this can be good here because if they miss, I can shine them or something like that. Just be thinking about like, what am I doing? Watch other players and see what are they doing to get out of these situations, and just don't like try not to panic, because once you get harder and harder to like giving Marth stuff for free is why the matchup gets so hard. Let's just watch Mango, see just some of the basic stuff he does.
It's not going to be that.
Okay, so you can see everything, right?
Yep.
All right, let's see.
Okay, so already like I'll just the whole thing I'll do in slow, because it'll be a little bit easier. Okay, so already shines him, gets the nair, knows he's probably gonna roll, so sees the roll, continuing to pressure, tries to hit his dash away in the corner, does hit it, he buffers roll away. Now he's in the corner, and you'll notice he's like, okay, what the fuck? How do I get out of here? Maybe he could shield, maybe he could jump to platform. He dashes back ever so slightly. This is what I was saying before about Mangoes. He's so good at like playing around really tight spaces. Gets his own punish. Now he's got Zane in the corner. This is an advantage. He gives him a bit more space, but I bet he's probably going to try to close the space back up. Nope, he's just kind of like respecting where he is.
Oh, not letting him do a runoff fair.
Does a CC there. Trades again, gets a shine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how is he going to edge guard him? In this situation, he knows that he's like up kind of high, so he could just like try to run out and down air him, but like he kind of risks getting reversaled. So what he'll probably do is like either try to position himself to punish Marth throwing out an aerial, or do some lasers. So positions himself to punish Marth doing an aerial. He's probably going to grab ledge here, or does the double jump. He wanted to grab ledge there. That's what he's trying to do.
Which I usually do for like the Falco, because I play Falco.
So this is that like invincibility shit I was talking about earlier, where like he gets him on the stage, grabs ledge. Marth has invincibility here. If Marth were to up B immediately and he rolls up, he'd cover it. But if Marth waits, then he gets back to stage. But he has enough time to do the down smash in this case. That's good for Mango. A huge difficult thing that I really struggle with is dealing with invincibility, because Marth can control so much space. So if he's also invincible, it's like so difficult. Mango does the full hop to top platform. That's a good way to escape. Okay, he's just like looking for an opening. Gets one. Late downer. Goes for the up tilt. Good DI from Zane. He's got him in the corner again. So he can either try to like pressure his roll or like laser, see what he's going to do. He tries to call out his movement on the platform and does. Now it's another edgeguard situation. So again, it's like going on the ledge, seeing if you need to refresh invincibility or not, and then doing like a downer or a back air. So he's going, okay, he could up B immediately, and then I would just like roll up, do the thing, or I could refresh, and if but in between that refresh, he might hit you. Okay, he goes for the shine downer, calls out what he's doing. Any questions with what we're watching, or like, is this helpful, or are you seeing some of the things that Zane's trying to do? Let's see what he goes out of a throw situation. Tries to do the ambiguous DI so that it's harder to hit him. Combo's still going. Follows up. Misses the tech. Goes for the roll to escape. I didn't even mention roll this whole time, but obviously rolling can be pretty good. He's still in the punish. Now he's on the top platform. He's timing it to wait a bit to see if he can roll out of it. He's still in the combo. Tech's away. DI's away as well. Still in the combo. Tries to get to top platform but fails, but that's not a bad thing. Side being to top platform. I asked before if you have any questions. Is this?
I think it's just too much information for one day.
I kind of feel that. I wanted to like use examples of like pro players, and I think for me, having not done that many like individual sessions, I've done a lot of time explaining things, but like it's hard to know exactly what I want to prioritize. But I do think that the more I've played this matchup and understood it, and the more I've watched Mango, the more I'm better able to understand like, okay, like it really is about like getting in. Like right now he's on top of Marth, like Mango's mixing up what he's doing, and then he's like, oh, like it just keeping him guessing and getting into that like little area. Because once you can get in on Marth, it's a lot easier. And like there's still, you know, if you're Zane, there's still so much stuff you can do to follow up. Anyway, if you're people who have watched this, I guess I'll put it in a VOD. But and also if anyone in chat has questions before we finish up, that would be good as well. Just because I know there's a lot of stuff to cover. I think, Evan, for you, just the main takeaway is really like figure out what you want to do when you're in a kind of escape situation. Try to mix up your approaches, specifically like what you do before and after the laser. And then like run up shield is a really good thing to mix in. Stop dash attacking. Avoid getting on platforms. I think those would be some of the basic stuff. Oh, and refreshing invincibility when you're trying to edge guard.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much like tech stuff too, like getting comfortable grabbing the ledge, hitting lasers at a consistent height, etc. So I'm not seeing any chat stuff, so I think I'm gonna hop off the stream. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think.